Hello, a very good evening to everyone. I hope I'm live now. So, those who are watching me live, it would be great if you guys can give me a quick confirmation. Am I clearly audible, properly visible to everyone or not? And we will wait for a few minutes so that everybody will join the live and then we will start our discussion. I already have posted on my Instagram and my WhatsApp channel. So let's wait for others to join and then we will discuss further interesting topic today. Uh, Also, in the meantime, if anyone is not following me on Instagram or is not a part of my WhatsApp channel, I will definitely request those people to just check in the description. You might find the links of both of them. And over there, I used to announce all the things firstly, and then in the community on LinkedIn and on YouTube it comes. So if you want instant updates from my end, so it would be better if you will join my WhatsApp channel as well as if you will follow me on Instagram as well. So uh, quite amazing. Good evening to Siddhant. Um, just in the confirmation, if you guys will mention to me if I am clearly audible or not, that would be really helpful for me in order to proceed further. So I really hope that you all are doing well and uh, everybody is doing interesting stuffs. Good evening, Krishna. Good evening. I think Krishna is one of the common follower because I recently have seen so many comments by Krishna. So thank you so much, Krishna, for that. I usually don't remember the names easily, whether I take any sessions or meetings or YouTube live. But for those people who usually come and ask multiple questions or do something, so that names automatically remembers in your brain, right? Thank you so much, Radha Mohan, for the confirmation. Thanks, Krishna, for the confirmation. Good evening, Radha Mohan. Good evening, Ronak. You're welcome. Okay, so I have seen many people have already joined, and I feel few people more I'm expecting, although they can watch the recordings, but I don't know. Today I have done for 7 p.m. IST, not really sure how many of you will join, but those who have already joined, thank you so much. It's just that at night I have a meeting, so that is the reason this is the best time for me to come up live. Anyhow, I think we can start our discussion, and those who will join the session, they will join in between as well. So, quickly, I will share the announcements first, and then we will jump to the today's discussion. And by the end of this discussion, I will share with you the task also. So, those who will with me for the next 1 hour, and if you will understand the entire discussion, you have to attempt that task in order to make this entire discussion fruitful. So I'm looking forward towards the submissions. Once you complete the task, you need to upload the files in your GitHub. How can we upload that? If you remember my first live of 2026, that was the discussion I have done. So you can recheck if you don't know. So you can upload the code files over your GitHub account, and then you need to share with me the GitHub account in the comment section of the video. You can just let me know, first of all, whether you understood the entire discussion or not, whether you find it insightful or not. Shall I come more frequently to do these kind of lives or not? And after that, you can just let me know your submissions, whatever work you have done on top of it. I always say that in the sessions also, I say the common thing ki it doesn't matter how many times and how much duration your mentor will taught to you, until or unless you won't spend your own time on top of it. So that is where your task submission will come into picture. So if you want 100% of the session, definitely you will take the task also very sincerely. So with that, let's get started. Number one announcement, which I feel many people will find it, good and exciting. Um, I have I mean, from the January 2026 start, me with my team working a lot in terms of revamping the whole website. So in December end week, I just come up with a thought that let's try to do some changes in the website and let's try to make it more seamless for the users. So now the changes are done. I was working for that from past 15 days with my team members, definitely, and we come up with the final website look, which I will just now showcase you, but also you can open at your end and you will be able to see the changes now. Previously it was not that much seamless. I feel so that now you will find more seamless experience on the website of Tech for All. I will just now share with you on the screen as well. Secondly, for those people who don't know, uh, two new projects I am starting this month, and I'm very excited for that. First project I will start this weekend on Saturday, where me with my learners we will start working on end-to-end data science projects. We will work on three projects end-to-end for entire month. Every weekend we will sit together, and for 2 3 hours we will try to look upon the problem statement, and whatever be the end-to-end pipeline we have in the industries, we will try to follow that. So if you are someone who is struggling with that specific aspect, because I know there are so many people who usually struggle with this, and that's why we come up with this idea. So this entire idea is in collaboration with the Hitesh. So we both together launched that course on Chai Code. So if you are interested, you can explore that. Second announcement is this. So this weekend on Saturday, I am starting that. Please don't join late. There is no benefit of it because the course is very short. It's just 1 month. And if you will join late, you will just only have an access of the recordings. So if you're really interested and if you want to interact with me in a live mode, you can ask me questions, you can ask me a number of doubts. So in that case, please try to join it. Don't be late. Okay. Third important thing, second project which I was working from the starting of this year was DSA Live Bootcamp. Again, when will it come? I don't know. This year, at least, I'm not having any plan to relaunch the DSA batch. So this will be the first and the last batch for this year you can consider. If you want to join later on, you can join it. But again, you will get the access to the recordings. You will not get the access to the, I would say, um, main, live discussion sort of a mode. Is my voice is echoing? Is my voice is okay? Everyone, can you guys give me a confirmation? Let me just check the settings in the meantime. Okay, now it should be okay. Is it fine now? Settings gets changed. Now it should be okay. Is it fine? Is it good now? Okay, perfect. Now fine. Perfect, perfect. Thank you so much for letting me know. I don't know. There must be some setting change happened in between. Okay. Anyhow, so this is the overall intention. So let's get started. Let me share my screen first. Just give me a quick confirmation once my screen will be visible to everyone. Okay? Is my screen is visible to everyone? Quickly, can I get a confirmation? Is my screen is visible to everyone? Perfect. So as I have mentioned, the first announcement was complete revamp of the website. So you can have a look onto it. You will find live practical mentorship in data science, analytics, DSA, and Gen AI. So this is the thing. One interesting thing which we have done right now, when you click on this explore data science and analytics basically courses. So over here we have designed the categories now. So if let's say you are focusing on data and career tracks. You can just see the curriculum, whatever be the courses are there. If you want to look for DSA and problem solving track, you will find the courses corresponding to it. If you're looking for interview foundational courses, here you go. So you will be having all the interview foundational courses. And now I'm definitely excited to let you know that there are a lot of plans coming up. I'm working on other projects also. Whatever the difficulties you guys were facing in terms of mathematics aspect in data science, I'm coming up with that within next few months. DA course was requested by so many people. I'm coming up with that. uh, Project part also I am doing something. So definitely there are a lot of things going on in the back end with the quality part, taking into account. So you can just have a look onto it. So over here you will find one video. If you will just click on this unmute button, you'll be able to listen the entire video. You will be able to see that what actually we are doing on this platform, and how I am personally trying to fill the gap between the industry and the theoretical things, which somehow in your colleges you might not able to do that. Over here you will find again all the courses. You will find my videos of YouTube. You will find the other about me, and the description of your mentor, which is me. And then over here in a very structured manner, now you will find all the testimonials, whatever students previously alumni of this platform, those who have enrolled in other courses of DSA, data science, machine learning, what they have mentioned about the course. You can find it over here and you can read it, right? So over here, definitely I have tried my level best to revamp this in a better context, and we come up with different ideas, and that's what finally we have decided to do that. Secondly, as I have mentioned regarding this course, so this course is something which will be starting on 31st. If you're interested, please go and check this out. Again, don't be late. If you will join late, you can join it, but you will just get an access to the recordings, which I don't really want. Then this project is something which will start this weekend on 17th of this month. So please make sure if you are interested, you can join this as well. Coming back to today's discussion, let's get started now. Our main objective of today's discussion. Over here, we will be discussing about the most widely asked interview questions in DA and data science specific roles. See, when we talk about coding questions, still many people are confused that, whether the coding questions will be asked in the interviews or not. The answer is yes. I mean, still I have seen so many companies, at least if your target is tier 1 or tier 2 companies, their initial round is the coding round itself. And after that also in the technical round, they are asking you few coding problems. So what are the most common coding problems we have which can be asked from you? This is what I have experienced in multiple interviews, so I'm sharing with you. The very first problem today which we will deal today is about equilibrium point. So how many of you knows the meaning of equilibrium point? So let's talk about coding questions and how can we approach that. So we will try to solve two of the problems in a live mode. I will solve with you all, and I will share with you the link as well. You will also try to solve it with me. And two questions I will give you as a task. So please stay with me. We will try to wrap up this discussion by 8:30. So we won't extend it further. Whatever the time is, I want you guys to focus completely on the discussion. I'm pretty sure you will enjoy it. You will understand it. And this discussion is very helpful for you when you will go for the interviews. So listen it very carefully. The first question is, as I have mentioned, it's all about, you can see this is the problem statement. So I'm just sharing you the link in the chat window. Just go ahead and open this problem, everyone. Once you open this, just give me a quick confirmation. Once you are ready, just give me a quick confirmation so that we can discuss further. So the very first problem we will be focusing on is the equilibrium point. Now, I'm not really sure how many of you have already worked on this problem, but we will see uh, in an interview perspective how should we approach to the problems. We will see that what do we mean by brute force approach and how can we optimize it further. So all of these discussions we will do step by step. So is everybody able to access this problem? If you are for the very first time entering into this website, you need to sign in, and then you will be able to see in your account the specific problem coming up, and then you can start writing the code. So over here in the right side where we will write the Python code, you can select Python 3 over here, because we will do the implementation in Python programming. All good? Everybody is ready? Shall we start understanding the problem first? Shall we spend some time? Always remember, your 50% of the task will be done if you understand the problem very carefully. I have seen so many people who just directly jump towards the solution without understanding the problem statement. So सबसे पहले we have to focus on what this problem is all about. We need to check the test cases, their output, and try to understand the relationship between input and output. So shall we start? Can I get a quick confirmation from everyone in the chat window so that I can get a feel of live discussion? I think it's not a recorded session, so let's take a feel of that. Can I get a quick confirmation in the chat window that whatever link I have shared, are you guys able to access it? Are you guys able to open this? And everything is audio-wise clear to everyone? Ready? Very good. Others? Others? You can just share with me some emoticons or something like that if it takes time to just write it something. Right? I think in YouTube live also we have an option to share the emoticons. Just to let me know ki, theek hai, we are active and we are listening you. Okay. Very good. Now, first of all, read this problem very carefully. Read this problem very carefully. And that's the kind of feel you will get, by the way, when you will join the live discussions also of my courses. So it's similar. It's just that in YouTube, we don't have an option to speak with a mentor, but you can take it as a writing in the chat window. But over there, you will get an option to speak as well. That's the main difference. So over here, you can see, given an array of integers, task is to find the first equilibrium point in the array. What do we mean by equilibrium point? That's what we have to understand. We will be able to find out first equilibrium point, but what is equilibrium point? So whenever you will find this trickier word, the good thing is you will be able to see the definition of that also below. So over here, they have mentioned equilibrium point in an array is an index, if it's a zero-based indexing, such that the sum of all elements before the index is same as the sum of elements after it. So if you get index number and a value corresponding to it, and if the left side of, for example, this is the value, see this is my pen, this is the value, the left side of that sum and the right side of the sum, if the left and the right, they both are equal, so I will call this point, this pen, as the equilibrium point. I think this term comes from physics only. So equilibrium point where we will be able to balance the left and the right portion pretty well. If we don't have any such point available in my array, available in my list, so I will return -1 in that case. So over here, if you will see this very carefully, if you will see this example very carefully, what we are getting? What we are getting? Now over here we have 1, 2, 0 and 3. Now if I'll ask you what is the index number of 1, 2, 0 and 3, so this is stored over here. This array will be stored in the form of a list. So over here we will be having 1, 2, 0, 3, 0, 1, 2, 3. So you will be able to observe one thing. What is that? You will be able to observe one thing. If I will do the sum of this 1 plus 2, which will be equal to 3. And if I will be able to see over here in the right side also there is a 3. Can I say that the values before 0, the sum is 3. The values after 0 is also 3. Sum is 3.
So can we say that this specific part is a equilibrium position, equilibrium point? So what we can return is the index as 2. That's why you will be able to see the output as 2 over here. Are you guys getting a sense of it? Why the output is 2? Are you guys understanding the problem statement? For example, over here, in the second test case, if you will see this very carefully again, over here, we will be having a 4 points. We will be having a 4 points, which looks something like this. 1, 1, 1, and 1. Again, we have the index number looking like 0, 1, 2, and 3. Now tell me, do we have any point, any position, if I'll do a sum of the left side and the right side, they both will be equal. So if I'll take this one, left side is 1, right side sum is 2. If I'll go further over here, left side sum will be 2 because 1 plus 1 is 2. Right side it will be alone 1. If I'll go to the index number 3, we just have the elements available on the left side and the sum is 3. So somehow over here, it's not possible to have an equilibrium point, to have that kind of a point where left and the right sum is equivalent to, is equal to each other. Am I saying it correctly? Do we have any index where if I'll do a summation on left and right, just like the way I have done in the test case number 1, am I able to get the answer? Tell me the answer. Is this possible? No. In that case, what we will return the answer as -1. So -1 somehow indicates over here that in this specific array, in this specific list, we don't have any equilibrium point. Clear? All good? Shall we think on how to approach this problem now? If the problem statement is clear, shall we think how can we solve this problem now? Everyone? चले थोड़ा सा आगे बढ़े. Problem statement is clear, right? Clear. Very good. Now, one approach which is coming up in my head is why not to use the slicing operation? How many of you knows the concept of slicing operation? Slicing operation. So what we are expecting over here? We are saying maybe I will apply one for loop which will basically start from 0 index and will go to 3 index. I'm just writing a pseudo code over here. What is the meaning of pseudo code? It means that we are not going forward towards writing the main code right now. We're just framing the solution over here. We're just thinking whether this approach will work fine or not. So that is how you also have to design your pseudo code. You have to design your thinking pattern कि क्या मैं ऐसा कर सकता हूँ? Is that approach will work fine for me? तो मैं क्या बोल रही हूँ कि we can just try to traverse our data from 0 index till 3 index. Now, what I will do in terms of traversing, what is the important thing which I can do over here? So my plan is, what if I will try to start, let's say this is an array we have. I will say take the sum of this array. In Python, the good thing is we have this sum function. If we don't have, we can write a manual logic of doing a sum. That's not a big deal, but right now we can use it. I will say start with a default starting index, which is 0, and go till I. Whatever be the value of I, you are starting it. And just check if this sum, whatever you are getting, is this equal to sum of arr of I plus 1 till the end. Basically, you have to go till 3rd index. So what we are saying is, in every for loop, it will keep on checking the sum value. At every point of time, it will just check when I'm saying go to I. So by default, whatever be the ending index we have, it will stop before that. Always remember, in slicing operation, if you are saying, this is my start index, this is my end index, this is my step size, right? There are 3 parameters we have in the slicing operation. Start index is by default 0, n index is by default n. So it will traverse till n minus 1. So whatever be the end value you will mention, it will go till n minus 1. Step size is by default 1. Okay? So what we are doing over here, we are doing one simple thing. Let me now frame this into a solution and let me just try to showcase you what I'm saying. That's what coming up in my head, but we will see that further we can optimize it or not. So what we are saying, we will apply one for loop which will start from 0 and will go till the length of air. So by default, it will start from 0 only, and I'm just writing go till the n value, which is the length of air. Now what we are saying, if we are applying a condition, take the sum, air value by default, it will take the start index as 0, but the ending index, I am defining it as I. If the sum of this is equal to sum of air of I plus 1 till the ending index, so if you will just put on colon, it will go till the last value. If the sum of both of them are equal, simply return I, because what we are looking for is the index value. What we are looking for is the index value. If not, it means that the equilibrium point does not exist. It means that the equilibrium point does not exist. So in that case, what we have to return? Remember the second example? We have to return in that case -1 over here. So now what I will do, I will just simply go ahead and click on this compile and run. Let's see whether this code will work or we will get some issue. So over here, we can see when we are running it for a first test case, we are getting a correct answer. It is 1203. So my output as per the code which we have written is 2. And the expected output is also 2. So seems good, seems good. Let's click on submitting the part. Now, as soon as you will click on submit button, it will try to check internally for all the possible test cases. Let's see. So you can see over here, we will be having 1115 test cases available. So it will check. Okay. So over here, we can see that almost 1010. I mean, maximum proportion of test cases have passed. Only 5 test cases have, showcased me a time limit exceeded issue, TLE issue. It means that there is a scope of optimizing this code. Although our logic is correct, but somehow this code is taking too much time. The time complexity of this code is too high. That's why for those other 5 test cases, this code is not working fine. So if I will ask from you, what is the time complexity of this code? If I'll ask from you, what is the time complexity of this code? Can you give me the answer? You need to check how much is the execution time required to finish this part of a code. So what is the overall time complexity of this code? Think over it very clearly. If you have ever watched any of my YouTube video, if you have ever seen my any of DSA Udemy course also, or any point of time if you have joined any of my live discussions, the previous DSA classes, right? Whatever I have launched on my platform, you should be comfortably able to give me the answer. And the sad part is everybody's answer is wrong. I was expecting the same thing to be in the chat window. So everybody is saying the complexity is big O of n. Almost everyone is saying the complexity is big O of n. But I'm saying it's completely wrong. What you are seeing and what is actually happening inside the code, there is a gap. Now, why you guys are saying big O of n? Because you're just seeing that there is a simple one for loop is working. Internally, there is a sum check going on and we're getting the answer. That's why you guys are saying big O of n. Correct me if I'm wrong. I think that's the reason, right, everyone? But we are using the inbuilt function of sum. But internally, code is being written, right? So when you are trying to execute the time complexity, it's not that if you're using some inbuilt function, you will ignore this sum complexity. And this is something I have mentioned several number of times in my discussions also. In Python, we can use inbuilt functions, but by saying that, we cannot ignore the complexity corresponding to it. You can't ignore that specific aspect of it. So now again rethink. I have just given you a hint over here. Don't ignore the inbuilt sum method complexity. So now tell me, what is the time complexity over here? Log of n doesn't make a sense at all. Log of n doesn't make a sense at all. Think over it. Let me see who will be able to give me the first correct answer. Now people are giving me a right answer. So Anupam has shared the first correct answer, followed by Biswajit. So over here, the correct answer is big O of n square. Big O of n square. The reason being because the first code which we are running is the outer loop where we are traversing the entire list, entire array. And internally, when we are using this if condition, every time it is trying to get the sum of it. And because it's a part of an internal loop, so one is the outer loop, inside that we have another loop. That's why the overall complexity is big O of n square. I'm again repeating my point. Although we are not writing a for loop to evaluate the sum over here, but internally when we are using this inbuilt function of sum, this is being executed. So that is why I am saying that the complexity over here is big O of n square. Now the question is, can we optimize it? Can we make it big O of n? Maybe at that point of time when we increase the value of n. I'm pretty sure that this 5 test cases which are failing, they are failing because when the value of n is too high. Because at that point of time, this n square value will go too high, right? For small numbers, it might work. But for bigger numbers, how will it be able to give me the correct answer? So over here, now we have to think over here that how can we make it big O of n, or how can we make it big O of log n, whatever is the possibility we can have. So think about it. Kya karna chahiye? What should we do over here to manage this specific problem? Can we do the same thing just by using a single loop? That's the thought process. So now what I will do, I will do one thing. I will do one thing. I will take two variables and listen again very carefully. I will take two variables. I will first of all evaluate a total sum, which is nothing but the sum of my entire array. For example, if I will take the same example of a test case number 1, which we have. Let me just minimize this. This is our test case number 1, right? Listen it very carefully. It's a very interesting solution, which I think we can do. I think we can do. So over here, we have over here 1, 2, 0, 3. It is 0 index, 1 index, 2 index, 3 index. So over here, total sum will be, in that case, 1 plus 2 plus 0 plus 3. So it will be 3 plus 2 is 5, 5 plus 1 is 6. So somehow we can say that over here, the total sum which we are getting over here is 6. Perfect. Sounds good. Okay. Now, once we will be able to get the total sum value, what we can do, we can initialize one more variable by the name of left sum, which will be obviously in the initial part equal to 0. Now, what we can do, we can apply a simple for loop. Again, it will be starting from 0 and will go to 3. What I will do, I will just say right sum. Right sum will be equal to, I will keep on evaluating the right sum side by side. How can I evaluate? What is my total sum I have? 6 minus, what is the left sum I will be having currently? 0 minus the current element, which is arrow of I. Because we have to find the equilibrium point, so we have to leave the 1 pen, we have to leave the current element that we're working with. So if I will say, if I'm at this specific position at 1, right, when I'm starting with over here, so it will be giving me the answer as total sum as 6, left sum as 0, 6 minus 0 is 6, minus what is the current value? 1. So it will be 5, which is absolutely correct. So corresponding to 1 as the equilibrium point, the right side sum will be 5, left side sum will be 0. So 0 is not equal to 5. I won't go further. Then I will increase my I value to the next, as it's a for loop. So again for 2, it will check the left sum, which will be 1, right sum, which will be 3. So what I will do one simple check. I will just try to evaluate it, and then I will do a simple check. If my left sum and my right sum in any of this looping part is equal, then simply return I, because I need a equilibrium point, I need an index, I will return that value of I. But if that is not the scenario, just simply update my left sum value. So what will be my left sum value? Whatever the left sum value currently I have, plus add the current element in it, so that when I move forward, when I move to the 2 value, I want to add this 1. When I move to the 0 index, I want to add this 2 in it, in my left sum. So in this way, I think we will be able to get our solution. So once we go out of this for loop, if we don't get any equilibrium point, we can return -1. We can return -1. So that is how we can attempt the same problem. And now our code complexity will also get reduced. So let me reset this code and let me just showcase you what I have told you right now. So what I have mentioned, we will try to take two variables. First of all, we will try to take total sum variable, which is nothing but it will try to give me a sum of the entire array. Once it is done, what we will do, we will try to check the left sum value, and it will be equal to 0. Initially, it will be equal to 0. Now, what I will do, I will again apply a for loop. For I in range, again, we will take it till length of our array. It will go and start from 0 and will go till n minus 1. What is the right sum value? The right sum value will be equal to what is my total sum currently minus what is my left sum minus the current element, because that element itself will be a part of an equilibrium point. Now I will do a check. I will do a check simply. I will say if the value of my left sum and the value of my right sum both are equal, in that case I will return I. But if that is not the case, in the else part, I will just increment my left sum. So my left sum is nothing but is equals to left sum, whatever value I have, plus the value of arrow of I. Now, once I will move out of this for loop, still I'm not getting any I index value. It is not returning me anything. So I will return -1, because that simply indicates to me that over here there is no equilibrium point, as we have seen in the test case number 2. Okay, first of all, let's run this. Maybe this code will work, maybe it won't work. Let's see. So let's wait. Okay, for first test case it works fine, but we have to check for all other test cases also. We have to compare that those 5 test cases majorly which were not working in first submission, are they working? Perfectly, we will be able to execute this, and all the test cases are currently have been passed. Okay, good. But now if I'll ask from you, what is the time complexity of this code? What will be your answer? What is the time complexity of this code? What will be your answer? Big O of n, right? Now somebody can ask me, ki Priya, here also you are using a sum and loop. Previously also you are using a sum and the loop. तो यहाँ पे भी तो sum करते हुए we will be using that big O of n time complexity. Then why you are saying that now big O of n is a correct answer? Any comments on this? Any comments on this? भाई यहाँ पे भी हम sum कर रहे हैं, यहाँ पे भी हम for loop ले रहे हैं, लॉजिक अलग है, समझ में आता है, कर तो दोनों ऑपरेशंस यहाँ पे भी रहे हैं. तो पहले वाले केस में बिग O ऑफ n स्क्वायर थी और इस वाले केस में बिग O ऑफ n थी, ऐसा क्यों? What is the main differentiator factor over here? Exactly. So Biswajit have mentioned a very interesting point over here. पहले केस में we will be having a outer loop, and inside that we will be having a inner loop. So one, and inside that another loop was there. So that is why we will be having big O of n square as the complexity. इस वाले सिनेरियो में For this specific part we will be having big O of n individually. ठीक है, और इस specific step वाले में भी we will be having a individual complexity of, because we are using a single for loop. अंदर तो sum use नहीं कर रहे ना हम. We did a smart approach right now. We have not used that sum operation internal to the for loop. If you will use it internal over here also, complexity will be big O of n square. But now this total sum I have done evaluation before the loop. So big O of n upper part, big O of n inner part, n plus n will be 2n. So we will get rid of this constant term. So overall approximated complexity will come out to be big O of n. Very good, Bisujit, very good. Great. Getting my point? So this is the optimized solution that we are getting. Is everybody is comfortable with the very first problem? Shall we move to the second problem now? And that too very widely asked, by the way. This is one of the problem which I have seen very frequently have been asked in the interviews. Now let's move to the second problem. Shall we move ahead? Chale aage? And then I will give you two more problems which you have to attempt at your home, and then you have to give me the confirmation if you're loyal, if you're honest with respect to your work, whatever you are doing. You will let me know in the comment section also. Okay, this is the deliverables. I'll check individual comment. I'll check your deliverables whenever time permits to me, and definitely I personally will give you the feedback on those problems. It's just that your hard work is required. Yes, yes, very good, very good. This is the second problem we will be working right now. So open this problem. Open this problem. I'll share, by the way, these solutions and the entire discussion, whatever we have done, in the form of these session notes. I will also upload in my GitHub and will share with you all. So don't worry if you are not documenting it. But if you are doing it side by side, that's well and good. Yes. Is everybody open the second problem now? Again, it seems very easy problem. It is easy, but depending upon whether you have solved it via brute force approach or the optimized approach. In terms of brute force approach, it's very easy to implement, but our way of doing the things are a bit different. We will go in a deeper level. So that is where this problem makes more interesting sense. Okay. So problem is very simple to understand. So we have been given the, array elements again. We have to find the second largest element, as the name, problem name itself suggests to us. So you can see over here, given an array of positive integers, return the second largest element from the array. If the second largest element does not exist, then return -1. So that's the overall problem we have. कि अगर किसी array में second largest element है ही नहीं, so in that context you can return -1. So that is fine. Second largest element should not be equal to the largest element. That is also another constraint which they have given to us. So what does that mean? It's a very interesting point to note, by the way. Now, sometimes people miss these notes, these pointers, these constraints, and that's why they are stuck in the problems. It's a very interesting point. If anybody can get it, it's amazing. But those who didn't get it, why it's interesting, let me share with you. So over here, in the second part, we will be having a finding of a second largest element, right? But we sometimes feel that if we have a duplicate elements, we will be, printing the same element as a second largest element as well. And that is where they have added the note. That is where they have added the note. If you will again see this note, you will get my point very clearly. So they have mentioned the second largest element should not be equal to the largest element. Okay. So we will be having an array. We will be having an array available, which is 12, 35, 1, 10, 34, and 1. Over here, the index numbers are 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Over here, we don't have a duplicate values, but let's assume that I will change this problem a bit. So you will be having 35, 35. Okay? You will be having 35, 35. So over here, sometimes what we feel is that because the largest element is 35, but it appears two times. So first largest is also 35, second largest is also 35. But that's what they are saying. Don't do like that. It should not be equal to largest element, meaning that if you have a duplicate values, ignore the duplicacy. So you will come up with the answer as 34 in that context. Are you getting my point? What they are trying to convey over here? But anyhow, this is quite simple approach. Over here, they have not given the duplicate values of a largest element. So anyhow, you will get the answer as 34 only. But even if we will be having the duplicacy, we have to get rid of it, and then we have to find out the largest, second largest value, right? So Biswajit has shared one interesting approach. He said that if we convert array into set, then again convert into list, then sort the list into descending order, take the second element of the list. Is it possible to solve? Definitely. That's something which I will call is a brute force approach again. That is something which I will call is a brute force approach. Amazing. My audience is very smart and intelligent, I feel, right? So over here, we will be what we will be doing over here is we will do one simple thing. We will try to first of all convert this list into a set. Now, I hope everybody knows the difference between a set and a list. The set is basically used, it's a data structure, it is basically used to get rid of duplicate entries. To get rid of duplicate entries. To get rid of duplicate entries. So we will first of all do a conversion to a set, so that in a list, if we have duplicate values, we will ignore that. We will be able to avoid that. Then again, we can convert into a list. Why list? We are doing a further conversion because we have in list very interesting inbuilt functions. For example, we can directly do a sorting. Otherwise, we have to write a full-fledged code. I don't want to do that. I can directly use the list specific functions to do the sorting. And then when we do in a ascending or descending order, we can directly with the help of index numbers able to fetch the second largest element. Same thing which Biswajit has already mentioned. So let's implement that first, and then we will talk about whether this approach is optimized or not. Okay, let's move ahead. Let's move ahead. Perfect. So what we will do? Let's do one by one. So we will be having an array. This is an array. What we will do? We will convert that into a set. So when you do set of air, you will be getting a set of array elements. So all the duplicate elements will be ignored. Then again, when you will do a list, when you will do a list of that, you will be getting a final list which is not having any duplicate values. So first task is done within one line. Acha, when you remove the duplicate entries, for example, you have two elements available, something like 22 and 22. And as soon as you will do the conversion to set followed by again list, you will be left with just 22. So over here, are we able to return the second largest element? In this case, when we finally just left with a single element, are we able to return the second largest element in that case? When we just have a single element? No, right? We cannot do that. So in order to avoid these kind of issues, we have to first of all write the edge cases. We can say just check the first of all length of an array. And if at all this is less than 2, return the answer as none. Right? Return the answer as none. Otherwise, do the sort. Once it will do the sort, it will do by default in a ascending order. But we have a parameter of doing in a descending order as well. But by default, I'm taking that. If it will do in an ascending order, what I will return finally is add of. We want a last second element. We have a concept of negative indexing in Python. I'll just say -2. Here you go. So over here, we will be able to sort the array if it contains more than two elements. And over here, we will be able to return the second largest element. That is our problem, right, everyone? That is our problem statement. Let's compile and run. Let's see. Okay, so for first test case, it is working in an amazing manner. I'm getting a correct output. When I'm clicking on the submit button, okay, all test cases are passed. It means that somehow they have not written the difficult test cases internally. That's why it is passed. But if you will see your other platforms, it might fail as well. Anyhow, it's okay. Whether it is passed or not, we have to think about the optimized solution as well. If I say what is the overall time complexity of this code, anyone can let me know? If I'll say what is the overall time complexity of this code, can anyone let me know? What is the time complexity of this code? Anyone who can just let me know. वैसे तो we have not used any loop over here. So is it constant time complexity? Any responses will be appreciated. What do you think? Big O of n. Okay, why big O of n? Are we using any for loop or something like that? No. What is the complexity, Biswajit, in that case? What do you think? Big O of n is not correct. Okay. Any other thought? Anyone? Waiting for few more minutes. So Narayan is saying log of n. I think you guys are just randomly guessing it. Think logically and then give me the answer. No, big O of n square. No, no, no. We are using, we are not using any for loop first of all. So that is fine. But we are using a heavier operation over here, which is a sorting operation. Now, tell me what is the most widely used sorting operation internally Python used, and what is the complexity of that? Constant, not at all. So today only, if you guys will go ahead and check the Python playlist of mine, I have talked about these things. In Python or be it any other programming language, we have so many amazing sorting algorithms. Out of them, merge sort is the one which is very frequently used whenever somebody is calling the sort function. And the complexity of this merge sort is big O of n log n. Big O of n log n. And that's why the overall time complexity of this specific code, which I have written right now, is big O of n log n, which is too high. We are not doing a binary searching, Anupam, over here. We are doing a sorting over here. So inbuilt merge sort will be applied, and that's usually take n log n as the complexity. And that's why for this specific solution, for this specific part of a code, the overall complexity will be big O of n log n. How to get to understand the time complexity for any given program? For that, you need to deep dive into the internals of it. Majorly, the easier way to check the loops, but when the loops are not there, and if we're using some inbuilt functions, that is where you should know the internals about DSA. That is why the specific things are important. Then only you will be able to get the sense of time complexity, space complexity, And let me tell you, without having the clear cut idea about these basic stuff, you won't be able to write the optimized code. You won't be able to understand the optimized code. Now, be it whatever domain you are working in, whether you are a part of a web development, whether you are part of a data science role, data analyst role, you have to write the code. You have to see the code. You have to write it at your own end, that to production level code. Now, if you don't know the basic funda, basic concept of time complexity, you only let me know how will you able to write the better code. Now, if anybody doesn't even know what is the complexity of this code, how that person will think about the optimized approach? Are you getting my point? So now the next specific issue is ki how can we write an optimized code? How can we write a code which is better than this specific part of a code? Is it allowed to use inbuilt functions instead of writing the logic in interviews? Definitely, it's allowed. See, it depends on the problem statement. If, let's say, interviewer is asking you to sort the array and you are doing add dot sort, is that a good practice? Answer is no. When the question is completely focused on that specific aspect only, for example, sorting, and you're directly using that sort method only to do that, it's completely wrong. In that case, indirectly, the interviewer is saying that can you write the logic of sorting? So you have to do it at your end from scratch. But if the question is different, over here, the question is to focus on second largest element, not to focus on the sorting part. So in that case, you can use it. Similarly, if interviewer is focusing on finding the sum of elements and you're just using a sum function over there, inbuilt function, it's wrong. But if your intention is to find the equilibrium point, but over there you are using to solve that problem sum function, it's absolutely fine. It's correct. I hope you're getting a sense of it. Good question. Okay. Now the next part is how can we optimize it? How can we make the solution as maybe big of n or big of log of n? So maybe what I can do, again, I can use the variables help. Maybe what I can do, I can again use the variables help. Let me reset the code. I will take two variables now. I will take two variables now. First largest element, and I will initialize that with minus infinity. Now in Python, this is the way to initialize the variable. So minus infinity means very small value we are initializing. Then I will take a second largest element as the variable. And that also I will initialize with a minus infinity. Okay, makes sense. So we have two variables. Now see what interesting thing I will do. I will scan individual elements available in my array for a given. If you want it to a more structured way, you can explore element in a given array. If the element available in my array is more than a first largest element, is more than the first largest element, then what I will do? I will do just simply one thing. Whatever be the first largest element currently I have initialized, I will dump that into second largest element. So whatever be the first largest element value I have, that I will store in my second largest element. And now I will update my first largest element value with the element whatever current I have. So my first largest element value will be updated with the current element. So over here we will be having the current element. Let me take a better convention over here. So I will, because this current element is bigger than the first largest element. So this is the current element. Is this logic is clear? What I have done over here? So basically at any point of time, whatever the current element I am getting, if it is more than the first largest element that I have, what I will do? I will transfer my first largest element value to the second largest element value, because in that case, whatever be the bigger value I have will become second largest, and whatever be the current element I have transferred that value to a first largest element. Now, if that is not the case, in other scenario, it might be the case that whatever be your current element you are getting, it is more than a second largest element. It's not more than a first largest element, but it is more than a second largest element. And that current element is also not equal to the first largest element, because we don't want duplicate entries also. We have to take care of that specific node. So in that case, we can say the second largest element value will be equal to whatever be the current element we have. Whatever be the current element we have. If that is also not the case, in that case, what we will do else? If that is also not the case, if let's suppose I will go out of this for loop, I will say if second largest element that I'm getting, if let's say we will be having only single element, right? So in that case, my second largest element will remain as it is, the way I have defined it, negative of infinity. So if that is the case, if it is equal to the infinity value, there are no changes which has happened. In that case, I'll just return none. Because if the size of my element is a single element, so I'll get a first largest element value, but I don't have anything, so it will remain as it is. Finally, what I want to return after the for loop, I want to return something like second largest element. Need to check whether this will work perfectly fine or not. Let's see. So for the case number 1, it works fine for me. Let's see for the other cases. And you can see for this also, we will be able to pass all the test cases. But the interesting thing for this specific part of a code is that now, because I'm not using any looping over here, so my time complexity will be equals to big of n. Because over here, I'm just using a single for loop and the entire task, entire thing is done for me. So my time complexity over here will automatically gets reduced from big O of log of n log n to big O of n. That's how basically we have to think. So if you're using any inbuilt function, always think about the internal time complexity. That's the number one conclusion from this session. Secondly, whenever you guys are thinking about the optimized approach, think about how can I do my task via a single for loop or without any usage of a for loop and without any usage of the inbuilt functions as well. Is there any possibility to do the problem via any inbuilt formula that we will be having? So if you will think about the problem like that way, it will be easy for you to find the uh, optimized approaches in a bit easier manner, in a bit comfortable manner, right? So that's the overall idea of today's discussion. Now I'm sharing with you two interesting problems which you have to do at your end. The first problem which I am giving you as a task is the specific problem contains duplicate. Again, a very easy problem, but very widely asked, because in data science and in data analysis job, one of the most important thing is to find duplicate values. So over here, given an integer array, we have to return true if any value appears at least twice, and return false if every element is distinct. So over here, you can see whether we have duplicates, the answer is true. Whether we don't have any duplicates, so answer is false. That's the number one problem which you have to solve. The next problem which you have to solve at your end, you can solve in the platform itself, is the subarray sum equal to k. Again, a very widely asked question. So over here, it is saying that given an array of integer number and an integer k, for example, we have this nums array and the value of k is 2. We need to return the total number of subarrays whose sum is equal to 2. So over here, if you will take 1 and 1 as a subarray and 1 and 1 as the another subarray, and if you will count the sum, it will be 2. So that is why the output will be 2. So we have two subarrays available whose sum is actually equal to the value of k, which is equal to 2. So that is another problem that we have to solve. So that is the task for today's specific discussion. So the way we have covered up the first two problems, first of all, you have to think about the brute force approach. You need to think about the time complexity. Then, if possible, you have to think about the optimized approach corresponding to it. And then, once you will be able to do all these things, you need to upload your work in the GitHub, and then you need to share with me in the comment section of this video. If you want these kind of discussions happen again and again, I'll come live more frequently. You have to support me in this by sharing whatever learnings you have gained in a LinkedIn post. You can tag me by writing the comments in the comment section of this video, by liking this video. We are very soon reaching towards 20K subscribers, and I want this year this specific subscriber base to go up, and that too in a very fast paced manner. So for that, I really need your support. And definitely, if you guys will shower your support in terms of sharing this channel over the social media platforms, then definitely after some point of time we will be having a very good subscriber base as well. With that discussion, I hope you find today's specific session insightful, and I really hope that you have learned something out of it. At least you have gained the insight on how we can approach towards a given problem, what are the specific steps we have, and the two problems that we have solved end to end in a live mode. I hope you get a sense of it. I will share the notes and the code part, whatever we have done, in the description of this video, or maybe in the comment section of this video. You can check that out, but make sure whatever task I have shared, you will attempt it, you will do it, and you will update me in the comment section. I will see all the comments and will update you whether your work is good or not. Okay. um, can you suggest resources for the preparation of system design for data engineering role in Google? I mean, you can refer the courses of Gaurav Sen. It's very, very useful. Apart from this, I have seen that one of the course is launched by Hitesh as well, for the system design. You can refer that as well. I'm pretty sure there also the quality will be top notch. So yeah, these are the few resources which I can preferably share to you. Okay, then I hope there is no question. If you guys still have any question, you can let me know in the comment section again. Also, let me know whether you find this session insightful or not. Based on your comments, based on the reach, I will try to see that whether we should do it more frequently or not. Right? As a content creator, that's the only thing we are expecting from our audience. So, with that, thank you so much, everyone. I will see you all very soon. Bye bye. See ya. And if you are interested to join me live in the courses, try to check my two recent projects which I have shared in the starting of this discussion. And definitely, whosoever have already enrolled, I will definitely looking forward to it, and I will see you all in the live discussions. Bye bye. See ya.